Paddington, where in 1960 so much remained of the Great Western Railway. Maybe due to their broad gauge history, the GWR seemed so different from Britain's other railways. 7909 4 Mark Hall departs from platform 3. An unidentifiable king arrives with an up express. A pannier tank with empty coaches for Old Oak Common carriage depot. In 1960, long-distance trains were not normally serviced in Paddington's platforms. The exhaust from another king scatters the spotters on the end of platform 1 as it leaves with the Cambrian Coast Express. But we make our way to the suburban platforms to ride DMU front seats behind the driver. At this date, Western Region suburban trains still shared tracks with Metropolitan Line Hammersmith trains, hence the live rails. Royal Oak, the electrified Metropolitan tracks, would later be separated completely from those of BR. Great Western colour light signals copied the lamp displays of the semaphores they replaced. A hall on parcels vans. A 9F backs to Acton Yards. West Ealing milk tank unloading depot. Intended for rural branches, a Great Western diesel rail car contrasts with a BR motor parcels van. Not only the goods yard, but also the gasworks here have long vanished. A Britannia Pacific. An adverse distance signal sounds a warning hoot on the automatic train control system, which the Great Western had pioneered. Both branches were still open at filming in 1960. Unlike others, Great Western steam locos were driven from the right, so their signals were often placed on the right of the line to which they referred. Our driver cancels the ATC warning hoot. We'll break our journey here to watch some passing trains. 6876 Kingsland Grange seems to be stopping here. On the up relief, as the Great Western called their slow lines, a 280 on a goods, which includes some train ferry vans returning to Europe. You must admire the gleaming brasswork on the engines of both expresses. From the stain on the boiler, this seems to be the 9F we saw backing near Acton. 4078 Pembroke Castle scatters the spotters. More gleaming brass as 4995 Eastern Hall departs with parcels vans. Signalmen here were probably unable to hear phone messages with an engine blowing off right outside. Even station masters' caps were different on Great Western. We'll resume our journey westwards, luckily in a front seat. The signal on our left is for the main line, ours is on the right. These first-generation DMUs had vacuum brakes, so they could haul the occasional van, but seldom did. Mailbag exchange apparatus is marked by the yellow and black sign, a reminder of broad gauge days, the wide space between tracks through these platforms. The branch here was the original railway to High Wycombe, but in 1970 would be closed beyond Bourne End. We have just overtaken the freight with the 9F. More loops for slow freights to be overtaken by faster trains. Sonning cutting, a major engineering work for the late 1830s. At 35 miles from Paddington we approach Reading and catch brief glimpses of the River Thames. Another invader, an LMS Stanier 8F. Next, glimpses of the Southern's Reading station. It would be closed in 1965. Passing a 280 with an up goods, we run into Bay Platform 10. We'll go and watch passing trains from the west end of Platform 4. Not quite as foolhardy as it looks. The boys are sitting on a platform edge with no immediately adjacent track. Gleaming 5037 Monmouth Castle passes slowly through. 5974 Walsworth Hall leaves on the down relief with parcels vans. The 9F we saw at Slough has made it to Reading. Castle Class 5052 Earl of Radnor. The Southern N-Class Mogul will take this long freight across to the Red Hill line, while a Castle Class 460 passes non-stop on the Up Main line. Finally, we see in close-up the arrival and departure of an express to the west. Was Bristol Castle heading for Bristol Temple Meads, we wonder?